Good evening, everybody. Welcome to CW Live. My name's Chris Webb, Head of Communications at the CWU. We're a union that prides itself, and we often say that every single member counts and there's no dispute too small, and we'll look after everyone. Well, tonight is proof of that. We've got 170 members in Openreach who are being balloted for strike action from tomorrow, and we're here tonight to show them that the whole union stands with them. I'm delighted to be joined by our guest tonight. We've got Andy Kerr, the Deputy General Secretary for TNFS. Good evening, Andy.
Evening, Chris.
We've got Davy Bowman, National Officer with direct responsibility for this group of members. Good evening, Davy.
Good evening, Chris.
And we've got Julia Upton, who is the Vice Chair of the TNFS Executive. Good evening to you, Julia.
Evening, Chris. Evening, everybody.
Okay. So what we're looking for tonight, basically, we've got these 170 members, and we want you as the whole union to use the comment section to let them know they've got a massive support up there. And obviously also, whilst you're letting them know that, you're letting the employer know it as well. But one of the questions you may be asking yourself if you're watching and you're not familiar with this group of workers is, what do they do? What's the dispute all about? So I'm going to hand straight over to Davy, who's going to give you some of that detail. Over to you, Davy.
Thanks, Chris, and thanks for everybody for tuning in. And I think this can be described as a pivotal moment for us, not only as a union, but also for the 170 members that we've got that carry out the repayment project engineer role, or repayment planners, as some people would call it. These individuals have got highly skilled, highly technical role that involves rearranging the network when large schemes take place. It rakes in a large amount of money for the company, and it's something that, from a CWU point of view, is an extremely important role. We have a grading structure, and this role sits at the very, very top of that grading structure, quite rightly so, because of the engineering and technical experience that our members have. And the background to the dispute is quite simple and binary, really, and that is that the company want to move the role into the lower regions of the managerial structure, strip away the technical and engineering elements of it, and fundamentally change the approach to how that is done. Now, our members, right from the start, when these discussions started a number of months ago, have made clear to us that they don't believe it's in the best interests of the company. They don't believe it's in the best interests of the customers. And fundamentally, and I think this is a fantastic testament to the members that we've got, they're looking to the future and for the people who could move into these roles going forward. So we had a set of negotiations with the company. We assessed the role. We came to different conclusions. But the company moved ahead, and what they have actually done, to show you the arrogance of the position that we're in, is they have already appointed people into the role and within the managerial structure. The members wanted to very clearly, very clearly demonstrate to the company why that was the wrong decision, and to get them back to the table. So we carried out a consultative ballot. And in that ballot, we got a 92% turnout and a 90% yes vote to support strike action if we needed to take that forward. This is a group of members that we talk to regularly. We've got a call with them tomorrow night at 6 o'clock to talk about the tactics, to talk about the ballot, to talk about the campaign. And they are tightly motivated and tightly grouped, and have been driving the agenda all the way through. And we believe that that's one of the fundamental mistakes that the company has made. And I have absolutely no doubt, with your support, with our support, that we will deliver a massive yes vote, because the company's not listening. In the initial days of the discussions, they seemed to think somehow or other this was a CWU agenda, and the people like myself as a national officer and the national team dealing with it somehow had a gripe about it moving structure, and therefore we just wanted to make a bit of a noise. Nothing could be further from the truth. This is a pivotal moment, as I said, but it's also a moment that shows that, even if you're a small group of people, even if you've got a binary issue, it's either this or it's this, then if you stick together, then you can certainly fight together, and there's a good likelihood that you'll win together. And having this kind of support tonight, and having your support tonight, will be crucial. I've already had, I'm really pleased to say, that I've already had lots of messages of support that I'm collating and that I will be sharing directly with the members, from fellow officers, from members of the executive, from branch officers, and from individual members who saw this being advertised tonight, listened to the video we put out, have been looking at what's on the website, and they recognise the importance of this dispute. The ballot, we served notice last Thursday. The ballot papers will be going out as from tomorrow, and we will be announcing the result on or around the 4th of February. So I suppose from my perspective, what I want you to do is, this is an absolute attack on these individuals. It's an attack on the role. It's an attack on what this role will be going forward. And this group of members has decided that enough is enough. The company either didn't understand or weren't willing to listen. And what they sought to do is to do the right thing for them and for their colleagues in the future, which I think is absolutely laudable, should be respected, and most importantly should be supported. So, Chris, I hope that gives a very short background. We've got a short amount of time. If there are specific questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. But I hope that kind of sets the scene for the call tonight. And I'll thank you in advance for, I know, the support that you will give, because this union has a proud history of that.
Thank you, Davey, and you're spot on, mate. I think people clearly have already got the message that you've delivered there, and there's too many messages for me to keep up with of solidarity, but we'll keep putting them up. But whilst I'm busy doing that, I'm going to hand over to Julia. And Julia, obviously you've been involved in these negotiations as well, and this situation. Our members, repayment planner members, they're fantastic, and they're going to stand with this union, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. And to a large extent, I mean, Davey has covered a lot of what we need to say in terms of getting the message over. And to be quite honest, we don't need to overcomplicate the message. It is a very simple message. It's probably the most single focus, straightforward trade dispute in terms of the aim. It's quite simple, as Davey's explained. It's to ensure that the role remains a highly valued team member grade. And really, in terms of the RPE members themselves, we don't need to explain to them. As Davey has said, this has been driven by them all the way, despite what the company may have thought. They fully understand the issue. It's more to make sure that everybody else, in terms of solidarity, understands the issue. And I don't want to overcomplicate it, because it's not a complicated dispute at all. This has been driven by the members every step of the way, obviously with the CWU, the Openreach National Team support, but absolutely it is their dispute. And we have made sure that the support is there. And what we're hoping from tonight is that we also make sure that they understand that the solidarity from the whole union is there for them. Obviously, in any legal trade dispute, it's only the impacted members involved that can participate in that. But that, don't underestimate the value that there is in showing the solidarity to these members, so that they don't feel that they're just a small minority within the union, that they have everybody's backing. I personally have so much admiration for their collectivism, for their desire to stand together in pursuit of a united cause. I don't think we can thank them enough, really, for making that stance, that on a point of principle that I think we can all relate to. They are so proud to carry out the role that they do. They're so proud of what they do for the company and for the customers. And as far as they're concerned, that their engineering and us in support of them, their engineering skills, their experience, their expertise, they have been highly respected for that and valued by the company. And so they should be. And so they should be recognised as being there as a team member, at the top of the team member structure, as a highly valued team member grade. And they're very proud of that. They don't aspire to be managers. Most RPs would not aspire to be managers. They want the role to be recognised as it is now and in the future, as a highly valued team member role, but both for themselves, but more importantly probably, and this is what I really admire about them, quite selflessly, what they want that to stay as a team member role for the people who come behind them to aspire to that role. The company, Openreach, and with the support of the CEO, when we were discussing career pathways, was very clear that our team members should have the ability to aspire, experienced engineers to have the ability to aspire to aspire to remain as team member grades and pursue their career at team members. Not everybody wants to be a manager, and it's quite right that they should be valued as team members with all the experience they've got, with all the expertise they've got. And I would just ask you all to show your support, relate to the issue that they are pursuing, to stand by them with all your solidarity. We should all be proud of them for what they're doing.
Thank you, Julie. That's fantastic. Andy, I want to come to you. I mean, lots of other unions would be saying 170 members, this is a small dispute. Why are you having a big Facebook Live session? Why are you getting the whole union behind this? Why, I suppose it's what makes our union special, isn't it? But why is it so important, in your view, as the senior officer in TNFS, for the whole union to get behind this group of members?
Well, Chris, this is about solidarity, and we always say an injury to one's an injury to all, and we need to fight against this. And I can only echo what Davey and Julia said. I'm really proud of those 170 workers in this area, highly skilled engineers, not doing it for their own benefit, but as Julia says, doing it for future people coming in the future, where they want to be. And it's really good that they've taken this position, and we'll work closely. Davey and the team has worked closely with the guys all the way through this, and this has been pushed, as Davey said, not necessarily by me, by Davey Bowman or Julia or the rest of the team. This has came from the shop floor, as it were. This has came from the guys themselves. Enough is enough as far as they're concerned. But somebody asked the question: why are we really fighting against this? These people are going to become managers, and what's the big issue, sort of thing. Well, and why would the company actually do it? Well, the issue really is here is the company want to put them into the management area so they can actually, and believe it or not, take money away from the job. That's what it's about. They're getting money, terms and conditions away from the job. Because we have been so good at doing what we've done over the last few years, getting these people to the position where they quite rightly should be, the company say quite clearly they can't afford it, despite the millions and millions and millions of pounds they bring in into this company. So I'm really proud of these guys. And the reason for us is solidarity. It is to show that it doesn't matter what part of the CWU some employer points a finger at, that we are willing to stand up and we are willing to fight against them. So not just in the area where the people have an issue, but the whole union, whether you're postal, whether you're financial services, whether you're any part of the telecoms, we will all come together and support any worker that's in dispute with a company. So I'm really proud about this tonight. We've done this and we've brought people together. I hope people, it's great that the people that are showing on the screen, I can see it just now, solidarity, but it's not just about solidarity. These workers, if they are in your branch area, make sure you're contacting them, make sure you speak to them, make sure they know that you are supportive of them. We'll do what we can do from national level, but it's good for our members, our fellow members, actually saying to them, we support you all the way. And then we hope we can get through this. We're going to win this ballot. I have no doubt about that whatsoever. And BT could have avoided this. And I think this is a wake-up call for BT. We've held back, in some respects, the guys taking this industrial action ballot forward for a little while because we had to get certain things in place. But there's a bigger fight down the road, potentially. And I think this should be a wake-up call to BT. If you thought we were going to back off, as you did think we were going to back off in the RPE, the planners, we didn't. And we're not going to back off in the bigger fight if they do not come to the negotiating table and put something forward that is suitable to us. So thanks very much for everybody coming on the call tonight. This is about solidarity. It's all about solidarity. And as I say, I'll finish where I started. An injury to one is an injury to all. And as long as we stick together, we can win.
Thank you, Andy. That's fantastic. And thank you to the members who are piling in, just simply putting solidarity or their standing on it. It will mean so much to our repayment planner members. So if you can continue to do that, simply put solidarity, or I'm standing with my colleagues, or anything you want to put in that, it shows support. It really will mean a lot. What I'm going to do now is give the officials on the call just a minute or so just to sum up and send their final messages over to you. So I'm going to start with Julia, if I can. Julia, obviously, we've got 170 brave members. Putting yes in a ballot is a big step. They're out there on their own, but tonight, if anything is shown our members there, they have the full support of the whole union. Thousands of people online, hundreds of people commenting. Surely this will give people that confidence they need just before the ballot paper lands.
Absolutely, Chris. They are not on their own at all, as we've said, and that goes for any member, but particularly these members. We are there for them. The Openreach national team, the executive, the regional coordinators, their branches, and as you can see from tonight, the whole wider union are all there supporting them. We can't get involved directly, clearly we can't, but we can offer whatever support is needed. And I think it is really important that one thing we say, and I said we've all said it earlier, this is as much about them wanting to do the right thing for the customers. People think when they see this as a us and them with the company, and that we're taking on the company and aggressively taking on the company to the detriment of customers. This couldn't be further from the truth. This has been absolutely driven by our RPE's desire to do the right thing for Openreach's customers. And I don't think we can underplay that. And the company should recognise that. This has not been motivated by selfish means. This has been about protecting the role in the future as a team member grade and doing the right thing by the customers. So as I've said before, I'll say it again, hopefully everybody will back us. Me, you, everybody should be so proud of them. I know I am. I hope you are.
Thank you, Julia. That's fantastic. Davey, it's been just, I can't keep up with the comments now. I am trying to not miss anybody out, but hopefully our repayment planner members can come back and see the feeds for themselves. It really is inspiring and uplifting. Davey, obviously, on behalf of the union, you've been leading this dispute. What would your message, or almost as the eve, if you like, of the ballot, what would your message to our members be?
Oh, quite clearly, from our perspective, Chris, we've worked with this group of members from the start. As I said, we've been holding regular calls. We've got a campaign group. We're regional reps, members who have decided to come forward, step forward to help. We know these people on a one-to-one basis. This is something that we have talked about. We've sought to resolve. There are a group of people that, because they have driven the dispute, have been given the negotiating team and me as the lead negotiator all the information and data that I've needed to try and bat away the company's argument. But the reality is the company's argument is driven by dogma, partly through what Andy was saying about dragging the role into a structure that has worse terms and conditions, and undoubtedly they would try and drive down levels of pay. So the message really from me personally, but on behalf of the national team, is that we have stood by you to now. We have worked together as a collective. We delivered a fantastic consultative ballot result, and I'm absolutely sure that we will deliver an absolutely massive turnout and massive yes vote. Again, the team to some extent couldn't thank you enough, the members, the RPE members, for how you have carried out the dispute to date and the way in which you have driven it. And if we continue with that level of energy and we continue with that level of drive, then undoubtedly we will meet your objective, which is to get this role to remain in the team member structure. We want you clearly to vote yes. We want you to take part. We will talk to you again tomorrow night. We'll be able to have a more interactive. There'll be 170 of us plus the team and the regional coordinators. We can talk about this in far more detail. But be proud of yourselves. Be proud of yourselves to have got to this position. And there can't be anybody that can't feel warm and cosy reading the messages that are coming up there and the messages that will continue to come in. And know the fact that when you put that X in that yes box, you have the whole of the CWU behind you. Let's do this together. Let's win this dispute, and let's show the company that when we are determined to deliver something, then we will set out to achieve it, and we will achieve it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Brilliant. Andy, I mean, I felt actually quite privileged in sort of the administrative position I'm in tonight to see like the coming together of like three things, which is, you know, the sort of gratefulness of our RPE members in the Fred who are like so chuffed that the whole union stands with them, the wider support from the telecoms and financial service members, and also our postal colleagues. It really all coming together. In fact, you know, being honest, very, very inspiring. You know, your final thoughts, Andy, for the session tonight.
Well, Chris, I think you've summed up in some respects, because I think, you know, what's come over in the screens is that, you know, great respect for the members concerned and for everything they've done. You know, it's unfortunate we've got ourselves in this position, but we didn't put us there. The company put us there. We gave them plenty of get-outs. The guys were willing to do certain things, but they weren't willing to take it on, BT, the company. So thanks very much to them. And as I say, Davey and others will have a better discussion with them, as they have done all the way through this for the last few months with them tomorrow night. But yeah, Chris, I think that's the point you made about that other supportive. It is the people concerned need to know they have the support of this union. And I think tonight that has definitely been shown. So thanks to everybody who's come on from the TNFS area, showing solidarity with these planners. And I know you'll keep to that. And I'd actually ask you to spread that word. But also thanks very, very much to our postal colleagues, because they've understood over the last few years, a number of disputes has taken place. And taking industrial action, winning ballots, and getting the company back around the negotiating table and reaching a deal. And I know we're going to get into in the Postal and Royal Mail. The ballot opens in the next few days, but that was only because we took industrial action, or we took the decision to have industrial action ballot and took the decision and got a great turnout on it. And that's solidarity. You know, being part of the CWU, you should be really, really proud. We're the best campaigning union in the UK. There's no question about that in my mind. I was saying that today to some friends, comrades. Both Dave Ward and I were in discussion today with some comrades from America. And we were clear about it, you know, how much we're campaigning there. And our brothers and sisters across the pond are proud of us, and they see what we do in campaigning. And it's all about collectivism. That's what we've always put the message across. So we are quite clear. If we stick together and keep solid and follow a particular line, we can win. And that's the message to every part of the CWU. So thanks every single one of you for coming on tonight, showing your solidarity to our planning colleagues. There's going to hopefully all put their X in the yes box over the next few days. Because they need to know they have got the support of the CWU. And I think after tonight, and hopefully in the coming days, they will completely understand they have that full support.
Thank you, Andy. That's fantastic. So firstly, I want to thank all of our speakers tonight. Andy, Davey and Julia have done a fantastic job setting out the case, but also setting out just what level of support our members, RPE members, have, which is outstanding. I want to say thank you to all of the members who've come on and shown solidarity. It is hugely appreciated. Most of all, though, I think we have to thank our repayment planner engineer members, because they're the ones putting the tick in the box. So solidarity to you, and please, please vote yes. I think it's evident tonight that we are the outstanding trade union within the movement at this point in time. We are the union that leaves nobody behind. You've got our back and we've got yours. Good night, everybody.